Well, there's the police behind me. Who is that? CHP? Nope. Yep. Don't know where he came from. But anyways, no big deal. I'm doing the speed limit. I'm fine. So, welcome to Throwback Thursday. I'm going to tell you some storm stories. And the reason this came to mind is because of the big storm we had over the weekend from El Nino. We had some really big thunder and lightning. So first off, I'm going to tell you about what happened over the weekend. Sunday, we were sitting out on the back patio having coffee in the smoke, watching the lightning and listening to the thunder as it's moving in. And it kept getting closer and closer to the house. And at one point it got right over the top of the house. And the lightning struck and the thunder rolled all at the same time. It was like right over the house. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think the lightning struck the street light out on the corner in front of our house because they knocked out the light. But it was so close that it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And it gives you that funny feeling, that funny taste on your teeth. And then the shock wave from the thunder was so much, it shook me in my chair and stunned me for a couple of seconds. My wife goes running into the house and is yelling at me to get back inside the house. But I couldn't get up out of the chair. I was stunned from the force, the shock from the shock wave from the thunder. It took a couple of seconds to get up and get in the house. I finally got in there. And man, it was so bad I ended up having a headache for like 2 or 3 hours afterwards from that. It was almost like it gave me a concussion or something. So experiencing that this Sunday evening. Oh, then right after that, it wasn't too long after that, our power got knocked out for several hours from a lightning strike again. So that got me to thinking about another close call I had, and this was back when I was on the police department in San Diego. I was working the graveyard patrol shift out of Eastern Division, and I just left the station in my patrol car, and it was raining so bad the streets were flooded and the trees were blown down, and lightning was striking trees and setting trees on, palm trees on fire, and knocking out transformers and all kinds of crap like that. So I was just cruising down Arrow Drive, just a few blocks away from the Eastern substation, when a lightning strike hit. And I don't know if it actually hit the patrol car or not, or if it hit the tree in the center divider next to me. But it was so damn close that I experienced the same thing. Made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, gave me that funny taste in my teeth and that funny feeling. But it also knocked out the electrics in the car, and the ignition shut off. The car went dead. I had to coast over to the curb. So I get coasted over to the curb. Yeah, you dead shit. And I'm sitting there for a few seconds wondering, oh crap, is the car going to start back up again? Am I going to have to call the sergeant for a tow on the portable radio? You know, I'm going to spend hours doing paperwork. I'm going to have to sit in the station because there's not any more cars. Nobody's going to believe me. So I'm sitting there for a minute. I decide, well, I'm going to just give it another try, see if the car starts up. So I turn the ignition back on, crank it over, and sure enough, the car started back up. The radio came back on. So I drove back to the station, pulled into the garage, lifted the hood and checked everything I could, you know, just visibly to see if there was any fried wires or anything, and I couldn't really see anything visually damaged. Checked the lights in the siren and everything worked and everything, so I figured, all right, I got lucky, I'm good to go. Shut the hood down and I went back out on the street, and the car lasted throughout the whole patrol shift. But That was like the weirdest time I've ever, closest I've probably been to getting struck by lightning while in a car in the middle of a storm. And it was one of those really weird storms that San Diego gets occasionally, where it completely floods out Mission Valley and they had to shut down all the roads and everything. And now I'm going to tell you one more quick little storm story, that's a tongue twister, from my youth when I was in high school. We had a storm there. I lived in Oceanside, and it flooded the lagoon that separated Oceanside and Carlsbad. And there was a low-lying part of the road there that connected the two cities. That was the old, there was Hill Street, called Hill Street back then, but it was the old PCH 1, Pacific Coast Highway 1. And so that was all flooded. And Oceanside PD had it barricaded on their side. Carlsbad PD had it barricaded on their side. Well, me and my buddies got the bright idea. We went back to his house, Everett. His name was Everett. And we went back to his house, got his dad's 54 Chevy, had the running boards on it and everything, set real tall. Grabbed a big rope, went back to my house, grabbed an old surfboard. We went down there, drove through the barricades, and we took turns hauling each other back and forth through that flooded section of the road behind the pickup truck on the surfboard, being towed behind the truck by that rope. And we were there for quite a long time, going back and forth. We get to one end, do a U-turn, go back to the other side, do a U-turn, come back. Well, then all of a sudden we're going along and we notice the Oceanside PD shows up over there on their side. So we stop out there in the middle of the highway, the old PCH 1, which is basically just a regular old road now. And he's yelling at us to come over to him. Well, we don't want to go to him, so we're thinking we're going to turn around and head for the Carlsbad side. And well, just about that time, the Carlsbad PD shows up on their side. So then we're stuck. Which side are we going to go to? Well, we couldn't just stay out there forever. So we went ahead and went on over to the police, you know, and they kind of basically lectured us and chewed us out, you know, being stupid and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we were telling them, well, you know, it was nothing really dangerous about it. I mean, we were all, you know, pretty much expert surfers. We were towing behind the truck. We weren't going too fast. And there was no other traffic to worry about because they had the road barricaded. So anyways, we got let off with a warning and a lecture. Nobody got a ticket for going behind the barricades and surfing down the middle of Pacific Coast Highway 1. So that's my 3 little storm stories. Hope y'all enjoyed them. If you did, hit the like button, give me some comments, and come back again next week for another Throwback Thursday.